Hello everyone, happy 2020, happy new year. I am just returning from some travels and from my holidays, so it's been a while since I've made a video, so here we are, here in 2020. So I know during this time or a little bit prior, many people are thinking about their New Year's resolutions, what they want it to be, things like that. There are some people who are like, hey, no need for a resolution. If you want to improve, just improve anytime that you want, which is totally true. I'm with you and support those people as well. But I think, I don't have a New Year's resolution this year, but I actually really do love them and I think they're really great. And I support those of you who do have a New Year's resolution. This is usually the time where we are really kind of either really going still strong, but less likely, more likely kind of fading away from some of those resolutions that we had, and things like that. So I just want to share this with anybody who needs to hear it. It's okay if you're not going full force on your New Year's resolution, but I want to remind you at any point you can pick that up. You know, let's say it was to go to the gym, which I know many people's it is, and that's okay. I'm a gym goer all year round, and there's some gym people who are like, oh man, the new people are here, it's kind of lame, but that's okay, they won't be here in February. Don't let that be you. If it is something that is, important to you and it is one of your resolutions, keep going strong. And it's okay if you have faded, if you've missed a week or something like that. It can still be something that you strive for and that you continue to go. So I totally support anyone who has their little New Year's resolutions. I think they're very important. I think it's a wonderful time to create growth and happiness and new things for yourself as the new year begins. So I totally think it's wonderful. Another thing I wanted to share, which I also recently wrote a blog about on WordPress, you can find me at Mississippi Hippie, was about, so people ask me how I'm so positive. I don't know if it goes through as much on videos, but in like social scenarios and around human beings, I'm just like, which can be a lot for some people. But they say I'm kind of always positive, and they kind of just ask me how that's a thing. One, my mother and my sister are very similar, so I guess, there's that, growing up in a household that's the way that they are. But more so, I shared three main things that stuck out to me in my life and why I'm the way that I am. First, I'll say that positivity is relative in my point of view. You can be positive about one thing and then not so much about other, and you can project positivity for others, but then feel kind of hard on yourself, and in certain situations be very different for you inside. So some things that you may see about positivity and bright shining stuff, may not necessarily be what is actually going on through a person's head, and also could be a lot that they're actually working through in order to get that, present that, because maybe it's what they think others can appreciate. And it's not always appropriate for people to be positive, and it's not always, up somebody else's alley. So, like, for example, if I'm, like, a positive person and there's someone next to me who's just, like, never is not like that, that's totally cool. Like, you don't have to be that. But just to answer some helpful, or give some helpful tips that maybe you guys can use. One of them, my English teacher told me when I was a senior in high school, she said if you wake up and you're feeling kind of down, maybe it's raining, or you had a bad night, you just broke up with someone or something, got a lot going on, wear some of your favorite outfits, do your hair the way that you like to do your hair, your favorite shoes or whatever, present yourself in a positive way or in the way that you want to feel. So you want to feel good, so you wear your favorite thing, or you want to you want to feel good, so you bring your favorite bag or whatever. That encourages your behavior for the rest of the day, and it helps you feel better. So it's just one little step that maybe could help in the mornings when you're not feeling so good. Because I know in the mornings for me, when I'm not feeling so good, I don't want to do those things. I'm like, I don't want to wear my favorite dress. I want to dress how I am. I want to dress like the saddest dress that I have, or this and that. And that kind of lets you continue in staying that way. But if you go out of your realm, even though it's very difficult, to try to make yourself dress in a way that you want to feel, sometimes it can help. So that was a really nice thing that was shared with me then. Another thing I shared is, I went to laughing yoga, laughter yoga, laughy yoga. They have a couple different ways to say it. But I went to one at a festival that I went to, and it was super weird. It was like something so out of my element, which people would be like, what? It actually really was. But it was so cool, and she shared a lot of science behind like why that type of yoga can be very helpful for people. One is you can trick your brain to feeling those endorphins. So like, for example, if you are actually very upset at work or something, someone has upset you, literally if you put a pin inside your mouth like this and make yourself smile for like 10 minutes or however long that you can, apparently it really kind of does scientifically like trick your brain a little bit to think that you're smiling because you're happy. So that was a really cool technique and a really cool like scenario that I learned about, is if you're feeling upset or bad, try to smile anyway. Not one of those like just slap a smile on it and everything's okay kind of things. No, but like, for example, someone says something crazy at work and it's just kind of bothers you a bit, just smile and see if you can try to get out of whatever reaction you may be into. Similar to any sort of meditation as well. But yeah, so I don't regularly practice laughter yoga, but I appreciated the information that was provided, and I totally support for those anybody who do, and I would totally do it again at some point if offered. So maybe that can help if you want to do a little laughing when you're not feeling so well. Probably try to go in private so people don't like call someone on you. Anyways, best of luck with that. The last thing I said was kind of dark, and I shared this in also my training that I was in, and some people didn't really take it so well, and it's not for everyone. But whenever I was a resident assistant in university, we had to see a group counseling each month together in order to make sure that we were providing the best services to our residents. And so one of the times that we were in there, we were all talking about how stressed we were. We had finals coming up, we had closing coming up for work, all this stuff, lots of programs to plan, things like that. Well, he was like, okay, so what do you have to do? And we were like, well, we have to do all these programs, all these studies, all this, and this. And we were just like going through the list of the things that we had to do, which were stressing us out. And he's like, no, I'm going to ask you again. What do you have to do? And we were like, okay, I guess we just have to go to work. I guess we just have to do our papers and things like that. So we eliminated a few things and limited a few, but we still had a lot, right? Because of course we have to go to class. But he's like, no. Let me ask you again, what do you have to do? And we were like, I guess we have to eat and live and stuff. And he's like, okay, yeah, better. But really, I'm going to tell you, really the only thing you have to do is die. And we were all stunned. What? Why are you telling us this? This is really kind of dark and scary and weird. But his point was, he says this to some of his patients who he feels can accept this, to let them know that they have choice. So even to choose to eat, or even when we eat, it's our choice. And not everybody has the same luxuries as others for those choices. And so that's how we know it's sometimes not a choice and sometimes is. And so that's when we go into more difficult things, things people are going through. But in general, he wanted us to feel that we only have to die. We don't have to eat. We don't have to go to school. We don't have to take care of ourselves. We don't have to get out of the bed. There's none of these things we have to do. Of course, they all have negative consequences if you don't. If you don't study for that paper, you're going to fail. If you don't eat, you're going to be hungry, or then you're maybe not going to be very healthy. Or if you don't get out of the bed, you may be sad or something like that. I mean, there's obviously tons of consequences for the things that we choose or do not choose to do. But the facts of the matter is that we do usually have that choice. And that was supposed to encourage us and empower us to know that we have so many choices and we are making these choices. So when we are stressed out, we can eliminate some stress by telling ourselves we are making that choice. We are making the choice to go to school. We're making the choice to go to work. We're making the choice to take care of our children, our dogs, or whatever we're taking care of. So it's our choice to do that, because really, we could not. And I thought that was just so empowering. And we were like, oh my God, we just have to die. Hey, we're powerful, you know what I mean? So hopefully that can be something. And again, all of those things combined lead to some of the positivity that I'm able to have. And of course, I'm not positive all the time, and it's not necessary. But generally speaking, I'm very thankful for some of these things that people have told me throughout my life, and I've been able to learn from them. And I'm still learning every single day. But hopefully those are some things that can carry you through this time in our new year in 2020, as well as I want you to know that I'm encouraging you to continue on with those resolutions throughout this month, and you can adapt them as necessary or whatever's comfortable for you. But I want you to keep going even if you haven't gotten to the point that you want, or you haven't been able to do as much as you want. Don't give up. Keep on going, and you can do it. Let me know if you have any more questions or if there's anything else that I can share with you guys. Thank you for following, and we'll talk soon. Bye!